Hey guys, what's going on? Adam Snyder here with the Homemade Entrepreneur. In today's video, I am doing a joint collaboration with Jaspreet Singh from the Minority Mindset. What we will be talking about is Instagram marketing and the importance of Instagram for business. So if you want to grow your business, if you want to grow your Instagram following, this is the video for you. So stay tuned. So Jaspreet, before we get into the interview, I just want to thank you for doing this collaboration with me today. And also, can you just briefly explain who you are and kind of what the Minority Mindset is about?
Oh man, thank you for having me on, Adam. Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. So the Minority Mindset has nothing to do with your race, your background, or your ethnicity. It's a mindset, right? Like what we say is, if you give the majority $200, they'll come back with a pair of shoes. But if you give the minority $200, they'll come back with $2,000, right? So it's thinking from the mindset of the consumer and be the provider. That's what the Minority Mindset is. It's that mindset.
All right, that's awesome. I love that story. You know, I love the whole Minority Mindset channel. That's the channel I'm always on. I'm always watching your stuff. So any of you guys out there that have never seen the Minority Mindset, the links to all his stuff, to his Instagram account, his YouTube channel, everything, his free ebook on Instagram marketing, that's all gonna be in the description box below, so go check that out. So there are many levels to Instagram marketing. I'm pretty sure you can agree to that. Most people don't find a lot of success. Most people are just on Instagram to see what their friends and family are doing, to check out their pictures, and that's it. They'll scroll through it, like some things, and that's that, okay? They don't really do much with it, but what are some of the things that you are seeing as to why some people find little to no success on Instagram?
There's about 600 million people on Instagram. I think that's the most recent statistic that we have. 600 million people. So in order to stick out of these 600 million, you have to be different. And you know, it's an easy concept for us to say, but for us to implement being different, it's not that easy to do. That's kind of what we say with Minority Mindset. Don't be the majority. But what does that really mean, right? Because if, let's say you want to start a page on cars, just for example, right? What a lot of people do is they look at what other car pages are doing, what other big car pages are doing, and they start copying that. They start doing the same thing. Well, what reason are you giving to Instagram users to follow you if they can follow a bigger page that posts a similar thing, right? And so it's being different, doing what's not being done. And so a lot of people, they have an issue with that because they're kind of scared. Well, if I do something different, what if people don't like it, right? Or something along those lines. But the thing we have to understand is, you don't need everybody to like it. You only need your targeted audience to like what you're posting and follow you. You don't need the whole world to follow you. That's not how business works. It will never work like that. You will never be able to make everybody happy. So you need to target your audience, who you're trying to cater to, and be different. So that's the first part. The second thing I would say is, people come into Instagram a lot of times. What I'm seeing nowadays is with this idea of either one, that they're going to get rich really quick off of their Instagram account, or two, that it happens really fast. And both of those are kind of misconceptions, right? I mean, Instagram, a lot of people, what I'm seeing now is they're turning Instagram into a business, like just having an Instagram business. The issue with that is your business shouldn't start and end with Instagram. It should be a part of your business, but not the entire thing, right? We should learn from other people's mistakes, what's happened in the past. People used to do the same thing with Google, maybe like 10 or so years ago, when, maybe a little bit longer, but when the internet was a lot newer, and Google AdWords and PPC was really new, pay-per-click, people would essentially do affiliate marketing or other type of marketing like that through Google PPC, and they were getting crazy returns, right? Kind of like they would spend $5 in ads and then they would make $20 back, something like that. And so they were just relying on this business, right? Relying on Google to continue to make them business. And then one day, Google changed their algorithm. Their entire business just went like out the window. And like there were people making $100,000 a month that went down to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. I mean, you're talking like a huge change overnight when people didn't expect this, because you don't own Google, you don't own Instagram. Yeah, Instagram is great, but now people that are relying on Instagram as the sole part of their business, what happens if Instagram's going to change their algorithm? You saw them do it earlier this year or late last year when they changed the algorithm from a chronological feed to a more popularity feed, kind of like Facebook. A lot of people freaked out, right? And so you have to use Instagram in a strategic way that's going to help your business, not be the entire business like end on end, right? You have to use Instagram as a part of your business. And then finally, it doesn't happen overnight. We see accounts with 1 million followers or 100,000 followers. It takes a lot of work, right? We think of Instagram as, oh, it's just a social media. Who cares? Well, is social media for businesses and entrepreneurs is actually a really big deal. And so we're putting a lot of time into our content and what we create and what we put out. Even though it's just Instagram, we might spend a lot of time on a post, and to make it look good and to make it look like, oh, it was really easy and simple for him to do that, it takes a lot of work to do that. So, you have to be willing to put in work. Even though it's just Instagram, it takes work.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Some people use it, the way it's supposed to be used. Some people are using it and really changing the way, online marketing is actually, working right now. So I love Instagram. I know you do as well. I know personally my Homemade Entrepreneur Instagram account, I'm not as active on that as I should be. But again, I'm working on other things, and probably you are as well too. So you guys, if you don't have an Instagram account, get one. If you don't have more than one, I recommend more than one, but that's just me. So do you think Instagram is a vital tool for anybody that has a business, whether it's online or offline? And what is one piece of advice that you have to somebody, whether it's a person, a brand, a business, that is reluctant to actually get onto Instagram?
This is a good topic. Definitely. I talk about this on our YouTube channel a lot. Whether you have a business or you don't, you need to be on Instagram. The reason is Instagram is the best way to get rapid organic growth right now. There's nothing comparable to it. And so if you don't have a business yet, start an Instagram account for your niche. So whatever industry or whatever niche you want to be in, start an Instagram account in that field and start building a following. That way, once you figure out what you want to sell, you already have customers to sell your product to. But the reason Instagram is so important is because there's no other platform like it out there. Like with Facebook, if you want to get seen, you have to buy ads. Snapchat doesn't have a search feature, and so Instagram is like the place to get rapid organic growth. And so Instagram is great. And so, a lot of people, especially if they're not on social media, if they have a business and they don't see the value in social media, they're like, well, Instagram is just a place where people share pictures of their lunch or something like that, right? But the reality is that's what the majority of people do, right? Don't be the majority. For entrepreneurs and opportunists, Instagram is a place where you can reach your target audience, and you can do this organically, meaning without buying that ad. You can get your product or your business or your brand or whatever in front of your target audience. And the real importance of this is because Instagram is still really young, right? It's a lot younger than Facebook. So there's a lot of room to grow. And second, the world is moving digital. Like I called what we're going through right now a digital revolution. The reason is because everything is moving digital. And whether you like it or not, whether you're trying to fight it or not, this is the truth. Last year, 2016, Macy's announced that they're going to close 100 brick and mortar stores so they can boost their online investment. Walmart bought Jet.com so they can compete against Amazon. Just a month or so ago, JCPenney announced that they're going to be closing 100 brick and mortar stores so they can boost their online presence. And last year, Jeff Bezos passed Warren Buffett to be the richest people in the world. It's the world is moving digital. And so it doesn't matter what type of business you're, whether you're a professional business, whether you're an attorney, a doctor, or whatever, you gotta be on social media, because look at where young people right now are getting their information. It's all social media. And so if you imagine these people are gonna get older, they're gonna carry that thought process with them. And so now if you're an attorney or an accounting firm or you're a doctor, and kids are looking for, not kids anymore, older people are looking for how credible this company is, what are they going to do? They're going to go on social media and they're going to see how many followers you have. And if you only have 14 followers, even though you might be a great firm, they're going to look at you differently, because this is how we're being bred to think. And so social media, you have to be on social media, and Instagram is great because you can get so much rapid organic growth right now for free. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's right. Just do it. If you're reluctant to get on Instagram, you're reluctant to put your business out there, there's not a whole lot of downside to it. If you spend a little bit of time putting your stuff out there, some pictures and some promotions about your business or about your brand, and it doesn't catch on, no big deal. You didn't waste a bunch of time. Just do it. So currently you have, I think, a little bit over 160,000 followers on Instagram. And I know you had some issues in the past about your account being hacked, but roughly how long has it taken you to reach that level, that many followers? And also, do you feel like a similar approach, if somebody took a similar approach today, they could achieve that same level?
Yeah, man, getting hacked sucks. So what actually happened was, it was December of 2015 when we got hacked. We had like 17,700 followers at the time, and I remember this like because I was studying for my tax law final. I'm in law school right now, right? And I was studying for my tax law final, and at like 2 in the morning, I got an email from Instagram that your password's been changed, and I rush onto Instagram and I can't get onto my account anymore, and my account's been hacked into. This went on for like a week, and this is like, it was sucked because it was during exam period, and like, so I didn't sleep at all. I was, I mean, I'm worried about my business. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my business, so I'm doing whatever I can to get this done. Exams, they'll keep coming, but I'm worried about my business, and so it was just like, it was a stressful week. So eventually, yeah, I lost my account, essentially. Then we started this new Minority Mindset account in January of 2016. We opened it up in the end of December 15 because I wanted to make sure I kept the name Minority Mindset, because when it got deleted, you know, uh, I didn't want someone else to take the name. So I created a new account December, but I didn't start posting on it until January because I was still working back and forth with Instagram to see if we can get it back. So I think it was like January 6th of 2016, we officially started, and then we hit 100,000 followers in less than 12 months. And so now we're at wherever we are now, but that's how we were able to grow. Can other people replicate this type of growth? Yeah, I mean, there's people that grow by 1 million followers in a year, but there are proven strategies to do this. It doesn't happen by luck. A lot of people assume that, oh, they got lucky, so they grew. That's actually not how it works. There are actual proven strategies on how to grow your Instagram account fast. I did write an ebook on how you can do it. It's completely free. I'm going to give you the link. Maybe you can share that in the captions so people can read it. But yeah, so I share some of the strategies in the book. But essentially, some of the main things that you need to do is, one, you need to post consistent value content. What do I mean by value? 3 E's: entertain, excite, or educate. So your content has to consistently be giving people value, and you want to post consistently. The reason this is so important is because if people are really engaging with your content, like it's different and it has a lot of value, people are leaving comments and they're liking on it, then Instagram is going to take your content and they're going to put it on the Discover feed. And so a lot more people are going to see it, and that will expose your brand to a lot more people, so you'll get a lot more followers that way. 2, you have to engage with other people. This means you have to physically go out of your way to engage with people in your target audience. So, like, for example, if you are in the fitness space, this is how we started off in my previous business, Five Water Socks. We would just go out to running pages and we would like people who would follow big running accounts. We would like those pictures, we would like their pictures, we would comment on them, and we would follow them. The reason we did this is because these users would get a notification that we engage with them. And so they would check us out. They're like, who is this person? And then if they liked what we posted, they would give us a follow. So it works really well. It's pretty tedious, but it works well. There are automations out there I talk about in the ebook as well that can do this for you. But that does work. I mean, this is how we started our Five Water Socks business, doing that exact same thing. And we were able to get $10,000 worth of sales in 40 hours of our launch, just through Instagram using that exact method. The third big thing is you want to work with influencers. So influencers are people with big audiences in your niche, in your industry. So you want to work with these people to see if you can get them to share your content with their audience, because that's going to expose your brand to a lot more people. Those are 3 main things that you could really start doing right now. There's a lot of other things you need to do. I talk about that in the book, but those are 3 of some of the biggest to make sure you can get the fastest growth for your business and for your brand or for your...
Now, I'm sure you made some mistakes along the way, but what are some of those mistakes that you made? And what are some of the things that you learned from that? And also, what is one thing you did differently in the very beginning to make sure your Instagram account was different than all the rest out there?
Yeah, man, I definitely made mistakes. I would say the biggest thing is be aware of scams that are on Instagram and social media in general. There's a lot of people out there that like they'll send you messages like, "Hey, I'm gonna help you grow your account so much. I'm gonna help you do this. I'm gonna help you do this," and then they have you click a phishing link where you put in your Instagram username and password, and it might look like an Instagram account, or it might look like Instagram's page. Don't do that. Like, be very cautious of these people. That's I think that's how we lost our account. So the biggest thing is to be aware of these phishing links and the scams that are out there. But I mean, beyond that, like, don't be scared to make a mistake. Just do it, right? I mean, it's okay. Like, as long as you keep your account, you're gonna be okay. But just be different. That's the biggest thing that I learned. It's just, I when we started off, we did kind of be like other people, just posting the same type of content. But then when we started switching it up and I started posting our YouTube videos and started posting kind of more like heartfelt stuff, like stuff that really was meaningful and stuff that I really put time into, our engagement really went up. And so be different, right? Try to put your own personal touch and flavor into it, because that can't be replicated. So be you. That's the biggest thing I can say, especially when it comes to Instagram. Be you.
So I noticed on a lot of your images, on a lot of your posts, the captions are a lot longer than others. Now, is that by design? And if it is, why is that?
That's smart, man. You caught that. Yeah, it is on purpose. The reason that we do that is actually, so trust is an engagement game. Okay, so if somebody is like just scrolling through their feed and they see your post, they just like it and they keep moving on, you're not building that much trust with your followers, your potential customers, right? And so for us, we don't cater to everybody, right? We make that clear right off the bat. We're not for the majority of people. It's the minority mindset. And so what we do is, the reason we post these longer captions sometimes with our posts is because we want you to spend time on our posts. So if you're just spending, a second or 2 seconds on most people's posts, but if you're coming to see our post and you're gonna spend a minute or 2 minutes reading our post, well, we're building that trust with you, because you don't get that same trust with 1 second just looking at something. But if you're stopping when you see our name to read what we have to post, we're gonna build a lot more trust that way. And it's the same reason why YouTube and other video platforms or podcast platforms or having other social medias is so important, because you're keeping people engaged with your brand and your business, and so you want to continually build that trust. And so that's one way for us to do it.
Now, I know you have a great following on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Do you recommend people get on all three of those social media platforms, or is there one you recommend over the others? And also, which one would you recommend to see the most results or the fastest growth possible?
No, you really don't need to be on all three. You need to pick what's best for you. You need to be on Instagram because you're going to get the best rapid organic growth with Instagram. If you want to be on Facebook, I mean, Facebook's best value is running ads. So if you're looking to do paid promotions through advertisements, Facebook has a great platform for that. So you really need to pick what's best for you. For me, people told me to start a blog initially. I suck at writing. I suck at writing. I almost failed English in middle school. And so a blog wasn't going to work. That's why I did YouTube. But if you're a good speaker, do a podcast, right? I mean, just figure out what's good for you, because at the end of the day, it goes back to what I said in the last question, right? You want to build that engagement with your followers and your future customers, right? Because if somebody sees your account and they only look at you for 2 seconds a day on Instagram, that's not that much value and engagement. But now if you have a podcast, for example, and they find you on podcast and now they binge watch your podcast for hours, you're going to build a lot more trust that way. So, pick what's best for you. For a business, you need to, I would say you need to be on more than one, unless you have different ways of getting traffic. But, Instagram is great because you get the best rapid organic growth, Facebook for ads, and then figure out what you're good at and what you enjoy.
Now, people contact me all the time about, Instagram and social media and pretty much anything online. And they want to know, what are they doing wrong? And I see from my own experiences that a lot of these people don't have a strategy going into any of their marketing, any of their promotion. But how important do you think it is to have a strategy behind your marketing efforts or behind your Instagram account? Things that you post, how much daily activity you're actually putting into it, things like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I partially agree and I partially disagree. So most people, they say that when they do things is ready, fire, aim, right? That's what most people say. But in actuality, what most people end up doing is ready, aim, 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 and then stop. Right? They never go through with what they want to do because they just keep thinking about it and overthinking, and then they eventually psych themselves out of doing it because they start thinking of all the problems that might possibly arise. And so what I tell people is actually the opposite. I say, if you're going to do something, ready, fire, aim, shoot, figure out where you messed up, and then fix it. And so, I don't think you need a grandmaster plan going in to figure out what you want to do. But you have to be willing to learn and be open, right? Because you learn as you go. You can't just go in and expect to know everything and expect everything's going to happen in a certain way, because the only thing certain in business is that nothing is certain, right? So you got to go in there with be willing to learn and be willing to change when the time comes. And so if you're selling, I don't know, cat toys, right? And you start an Instagram page and you have your cat toy store linked in your bio and you're not getting sales, well, now you got to figure out why not. Right now, like what you're talking about, maybe you need to create a funnel. Maybe you need to capture people's emails. Maybe you need to do more email marketing to do this. But when the time comes, you have to be willing to learn it. You don't have to know everything going into it. Just get started and then learn as you go and be willing to change and learn and be dynamic. That's, the best thing I can tell people.
So from your experience, what you know, what you see, what is the biggest mistake you see so many businesses, brands, people just making on Instagram?
So I think I hinted to this a couple times, but essentially, don't try to be perfect because you'll never be. Just go out and do it and always be willing to be better. Don't be the majority. Be different. Give people a reason to follow you, right? Be you. And third, I would say just understand when it comes to business and selling, it's not what you sell that really makes or breaks you. It's how you sell it. And this is kind of like a real big misconception I see amongst people, because they always assume that I need the perfect business, or I need the perfect business plan, or I need this or that. No, you don't. It's how you sell it. What value can you create? What can you do, right? The best example I give people is, one of my favorite examples is a guy named Gary Dahl. This guy was a G, man. So he would sell pet rocks, like pet rocks with smiley faces on them, right? And people would be like, what? Why would you sell pet rocks? Well, he didn't go out and tell people, I'm selling you a rock. He told parents that, hey, I'm selling you a solution. Your kids want a pet. You don't want to have to deal with all the hassle. So instead of doing that, buy them this rock, this pet rock, right? So he created this great, amazing perception and value behind his product. And guess what? I think he made like $15 million selling this pet rock, right? So it's not what you sell, but how you sell it. So understanding that and how to create value through your social media or whatever outlets you use, because now we demonstrate our value through the internet, understanding that you need it.
Yeah, that's true. You just gotta be different. I love that rock story. But knowing not only what to sell, but how are you gonna sell it? How are you gonna offer this to somebody? I love that. So if somebody asks you, can you give me 3 to 5 steps on how to build my Instagram following? What should I do? What would you recommend to them?
All right, so you have my ebook on Instagram. I'm going to give you that link so you can put that in the caption. But essentially, the main things that we talked about are, 1, be different, right? Create value content to put out there. Be consistent with your content. Engage with your target audience. Work with influencers. And be willing to learn and work with other people. So one thing we can do right now is post your Instagram handle. So if you don't have an Instagram account, create it. And if you already have one, put your Instagram handle, your Instagram account, in the caption below. So that way the people watching this video can follow each other and work with each other, right? Maybe you guys can collaborate, or maybe you guys can give each other feedback. Post your handle below and just start working with people, right? I mean, entrepreneurs are we're an interesting breed of people that we all, we can all succeed, and most entrepreneurs want to help other people. So, let's work together and do it.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody out there that wants to do anything on Instagram, I highly recommend getting the ebook. I'm going to put the link to that in the description box below. So make sure you go check that out. Again, it's free. What do you got to lose? Yeah, and you guys that want to, kind of get together, put your Instagram handle in the comment section below. Just let other people know where they can get a hold of you, how they can follow you. Because if you guys all start liking each other, sharing each other's stuff, then each one of you are going to see some results from it. You're going to start to see some success. So just put your Instagram handle in the comment section below, and you guys just start to link up with each other. So I think you've given a bunch of great ideas, a bunch of great examples, just really explain the whole thing on Instagram marketing to the whole audience. So I highly appreciate everything that you're doing. I highly recommend your channel. Could you, before you go, just let people know exactly where they can get a hold of you, where they can see your information, and for all those links and stuff, I will put them all in the description box below. So make sure you guys go check that out.
Oh man, thank you, brother. First and foremost, subscribe to the Minority Mindset YouTube channel. We post new videos on entrepreneurship, business, and money every single week. You can check us out on Instagram at Minority Mindset. Check us out on Facebook at Minority Mindset. And share it with your friends. Tell other people. No, man, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, anytime. I'm glad that you're on here. Like I said, love your channel. I'll be watching you every single time that you put out a new video. And for anybody out there that hasn't been watching the Minority Mindset, I highly recommend you start now. Again, the subscription link will be in the description box below, so go check it out. Whether you subscribe or not, go watch his videos. They're full of just great content. So if you guys like this collaboration, you like this interview that I did with Jaspreet over at the Minority Mindset, please smash that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next video.